All right. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we got the Area 51 Racing League Indy Series here at Chicagoland. Scheduled distance of 100 laps. Drivers making their qualifying laps at the moment. So while they get their laps done, we're going to go through our standings here entering the event. So let's see 8-point lead with Eric Schaus over Jack Walls with these two races remaining here. Last week at obviously Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. Craig Forsyth dominating the race there. And I said he's closed the gap now. He's only 30 out of the lead, so I would not count him out. Charles Johnson still at the outside shot as well, including missing a race, only 51 points out. So really good season for Charles, including that missed race here. So we'll see how qualifying goes, where everybody's going to sort out. Like I said, that's going to definitely be a critical part of that one to see where our championship contenders are. So while we let them finish up their laps, we'll pull away for just a moment, and then we'll rejoin here once we start gridding. Alright, qualifying has completed. So here's our starting lineup for tonight's race. On the pole position is that number 72 points leader Eric Schaus. It's a critical starting spot for him. He's going to be able to get that bonus point for the pole position. Beats the number 10 of Corey Lane by 0.005 of a second. In third, you got Charles Johnson, Bud Steele. And then fifth, our second place contender, Jack Walls there. You got Craig Forsyth in sixth. You got three of the contenders all right together. Actually, all four when you look at Charles Johnson there in third. So top six position have all the contenders here tonight. Then you got Chris Jabot in seventh, David Leclerc in eighth. And then 9th through 16th, you got Brendan Pastelacqua, Christopher Kresge, Gary Corley, Todd Merkel, Charles Teed, Michael Spell, Don Runkle Jr., Benjamin Combs. And the remainder of the field here, you've got David Patton, James Ledford, Art Peck, Jim Brooks, Nicholas Winook, Jason Bridges, and John Brill. So with that here, we're going to let everybody get settled in and say things are going to get started here in just a moment. Again, I want to thank you all for joining us this evening. Want to mention, of course, my esteemed associate here, Steve Goschak. He's joining me tonight in the booth. He had to step away and get everything ready to go for tonight's race. Not sure if you're back or not, Steve, yet. But if you are, definitely chime in, as I know you did some testing laps here before we get rolling here. Yeah, so he stepped away for a moment, so he'll be back shortly. But as we see, the field is getting underway here, getting the pace laps going. Again, scheduled distance is 100 laps tonight. Looks like we've got 23 cars taking the grid this evening. Again, those top 16 made qualifying laps. 17th on back are going to go ahead and start from the back. Fuel window sounds to be around that 30 to 35 lap window, which could definitely come into play depending on the green flag runs here. Because again, that magic number, if they go green all the way through, is going to be that 33, 34 lap mark. But we'll just have to wait and see what those numbers actually correspond to as this race progresses. Rachel, it's great to see you on here. I love the support you give for Eric. I'm sure he appreciates it as well here as they get going through the backstretch. Hope you're having a good evening here. Like you said, Eric's going to do all he can, of course, to help his cause going into the finale next week at Homestead. Like I said, he's got a lot of competition surrounding him with some of those with the 20 to Charles Johnson, a little bit of an outside chance. Jack Wall's obviously in the 83, his closest competitor, and then the 131 of Craig Forsyth, also one to keep an eye on here. With that said, you see the pace car is in the wait for that green flag to fly, and we will get things going tonight here at Chicagoland Speedway. Green flag is out, and you see Eric gets a great start there. Actually backs off a little bit. Not sure, maybe got too good of a start there. So he's going to back it off just to make sure he doesn't get in any trouble, I have a feeling. So kind of an interesting start there. Good heads up by some of those drivers behind. So we are now underway, though, at Chicago.
Okay.
And there is my esteemed colleague, Steve Gostruck. Say we just got going here, Steve. Perfect timing. Saying it looks like Eric Schaus going to lead lap number 1, but right off the bat, here comes Charles Johnson going to run the top side. But say, I know you mentioned you saw some things in practice that you think are going to play a role in it in the race tonight. So say I'm going to give you the floor here and kind of share what you've learned here.
Okay, so first of all, it's something very familiar to people that have been watching these races all along. It's flat out all the way around in 6th gear, and you can pretty much keep the car low for a good part of the run. I went quite a few laps to get some wear on the tires and see how it behaved. And here, first of all, it does start to push, especially off of turn 4 once you've got some wear in the tires. You can get a run to the outside of people, especially coming off of turn 4, and you can stay even with them through turns 1 and 2 and down the back stretch. But it gets to be a problem not too long after you get going in 3 and 4, especially once it starts to push. So I don't think you're going to see a lot of passing on the high side here. Maybe if you have a little bit of help, like on a super speedway with drafting, because I also experienced some pack racing and the draft, and these cars really suck up to each other in the draft.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And I think what we've seen before too, Steve, is where you can make progress on the top side, but it's just once you get to that lead car, it just kind of fizzles out from there. So I think that's going to be where we have to keep an eye on things. Right now it looks like the first car kind of running the middle to top groove is that 6 of Bud Steele. He kind of bounces in and out. Right behind him you see he's got the 88 of Michael Spell. Say Michael's actually made a pretty good jump here. Went from 14th to 4th in 5 laps there. So that 88 car, really good speed here to get things going. I say so obviously showing that you can definitely make some passes here tonight. Just got to put yourself in the right place at the right time, and it definitely those opportunities are going to open up here.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
So I'm going to say, I think I see a little bit of a mixed bag of kind of strategies here. Obviously, if you're that pole sitter, Eric Schaus, you have control to start. You want to get up front, control the race here. Say, like you said, just kind of protect the bottom, and that's going to be obviously your best chance to win this race. I say again, some of the other drivers that looks like are kind of taking it a little easier initially. I see Craig Forsyth; he's starting to creep back into that picture as well. I say the other one, of course, Charles Johnson. He's kind of going to have to be going full aggression because again he's got a long ways to go, unfortunately missing that one race. He's had a great season, just that one missed race is really what's hurting his chances for the championship right now. But and then of course the other driver, Jack Wall's the 83. Jack's usually kind of a fuel strategy guy that I've noticed, so I wonder if he's kind of playing his game right now thinking, all right, we can make this thing, if I can make this on a 2-stop race with saving fuel in the draft and not being the one leading the pack here, I can stretch my fuel tank if we go green. And as I said, I saw one down in the grass, trying to catch who it was. Actually 2 cars in the grass there.
Yeah, it's Bud Steele and Charles Johnson.
Oh no, those are some of the guys up front there. Yeah, this Charles, both of them have a lot of damage here. No rear wing for the 28. 6 car, same deal there. Let's go back and see what. There's also one behind him. Oh, that's the 10, I believe, of Corey Lane. No, it's not Corey Lane. Who is that? I can't quite tell who the other driver is back there with. Oh, I think it's David Patton in the 38 car. Yeah, you can see they're trying to limp these things back around to the pits here.
No,
we stay. Oh no, we got trouble up front. Oh, big trouble up front. Let's go and see what's going on up front here. Oh, I see the 5 of Chris Jabot, the 65 of Gary Corley were involved. So this is actually going to be a huge break for those drivers that were in the previous. And so I think I see the 80 and Michael Spell as well. So we are under yellow. We're going to go look at both incidents and see what happened here. But it looks like may have been actually exactly what you're talking about, Steve. I think I saw, looks like one driver may have got tight there off of 4.
Yeah, if he did, it was just a little bit. I mean, they barely touched wheels, and unfortunately.
Oh, actually, Gary Corley, yeah, something happened in 65. He got all sorts of squirrely there on the exit of 4 here. So I'm watching again a little slower here, get a better angle as well. Yeah, the car just snapped around from him, and then he makes contact with the 88. And unfortunately, Chris Jabot just nowhere to go. Heavy contact with the 88. Both of those cars go up into the wall and up and over. So they're going unfortunately, for a bit of a wild ride there through the front stretch. We'll see if everybody's able to sneak around them. So as they say, that pit stops are happening. Looks like everybody's getting tires and fuel here. So I'm going to keep watching. Looks like Chris able to keep it going. Alright, so now let's go back and hunt the other incident here that involved the 6 and the 28.
Well, you do that. I'm looking at the, I guess it's Michael Spell.
Yeah, the 88 car.
And Gary Corley. It looks like there may have been some net code. I think that might be why Gary, either that or he was afraid they were going to hit and he pulled it right too hard and lost control.
Yeah, and actually I just watched the incident. The contact was, yeah, so it looked like Charles got a little tight off of 2 as well. Unfortunately, a little bit of net code as well. And I saw the 38. It looks like the 38 may have just reacted to it. Let's see if he had any help from behind. It looks like he just lost it as well. Yeah, he just got loose off of 2 in that 38 car, so that was where he spun as well. Looks like he just spun. Looks like he'll be able to get away with it pretty well there. However, going to have a lot of cars there a lap down from the incident. And then I'm actually still showing the 5 of Chris Jabot in the pits. That's not what he's going to be looking for. May have had to, actually, I think he had to take a tow because, yeah, he's still sitting there in the pits. So we'll see if he can maybe at least get, if he can only stay 1 down, that's going to be the ideal. I'm not sure if he just went 2 down here or not. I'm trying to see if anybody got the wave around under that caution because, actually, I think it was David Patton. Looks like the 38 car's back on the lead lap here. He's hitting the pits now. However, or actually, it could have been Michael Spell in the 88 too. I think Michael's having some more glitching. I saw the tire spinning there as he's sitting in the pits here. Oh yeah, if you look at that 88 car here, Steve, there's something going on, a little bit of a glitch it looks like, because that right rear here is just like stuck into the ground on that number 88 machine.
Oh yeah, I see that. It's laying down rubber as he's driving.
He's had this happen a few times. I'm not sure. Yeah, his left. Oh yeah, there's just no traction on that car. He just loops it around. So he's gonna have to probably take. Yeah, he's jumping out there. He's gonna take a tow. So yeah, so we are still under caution. Just bad luck for Michael Spell. I'll say we'll see if maybe the tow is gonna help fix that. So it looks okay right now, but again, he's gonna have to wait a while before anything happens to his car. Waiting to see that 5 still sitting as well with the damage, so he's going to go another lap down, it looks like. So that being said, though, we are on the 1 to green. Have to mention, obviously, Craig Forsyth now up into that 2nd position there. Started 6th, so he's moved up to 2nd. Obviously, Eric Schau's still going to be shown as our race leader after pit stops. Actually, no, I'm sorry. The top 6 drivers stayed out. So Eric Schaus, Craig Forsyth, David Leclerc, Corey Lang, Christopher Kresge, and Todd Merkel, all those drivers stayed out there under caution. First driver to make that pit stop. We talked about strategy. That number 83 of Jack Wallace, so he's going to be the first driver on the fresher tires and, of course, the heavier load of fuel here.
Well, we've seen this happen before, haven't we?
Yep, I say strategy always winds up playing a role here. I do see the 5 back on track for Chris Jabot. He is showing us 2 laps down right now. So I'll say definitely not out of the running yet. I'll say again also with that 88's issues with Michael Spell, he may wind up going 2 laps down. So say but right now the battle for the lucky dog is going to be between that 28 and the 6 of Charles Johnson, Bud Steele. And you see they're going to line up here right together. So yeah, so now we're going to wait for that pace car to duck off. And again, restarts are controlled by the leader now, so Eric Schaus, he can fire off whenever he is ready. And you can see he's going to restart on the inside line. Doesn't want to risk anybody getting that shortcut to the inside of him. So now he's just waiting to go when he's ready. and he is away, and a pretty good restart there. I'm watching David Leclerc. He is right on the tail of that 131 of Craig Forsyth. So say we'll keep an eye on them, see how the momentum's going to go, because this is where Craig's probably got a good opportunity. If he can get a big toe down the back, he can try to jump to the top and see if he can make a pass happen, as he's going to do that right here. But it looks like he may stall out here, right, like as you mentioned, Steve, right when he gets to the outside of that car.
Yep, that definitely looks what's happening. Curious to see what these guys with 11 lap newer tires are going to be able to do. If it's like other races where we thought they might have a slight advantage, they probably won't be able to get up to the lead. But I don't know who the yellow car is, but I think he's just moving into 5th right now.
Yep, that's Jack Walls in the 83. He's the first driver that made that pit stop, so he is using those fresh tires right now to good advantage here. I'll say, and that's the thing, is I think he's going to be able to make a good charge. Oh, we got a caution a little further back. Saw one sliding through the grass. Believe that. Oh, it looks like the 00 of Don Runkle Jr. I think he's the one that did that slide. Looks like he's going to get away with that. It looks like it was just a little spin there that brought the caution out. So kind of no harm, no foul, really, if you will, on that one. I think I saw that car on the apron. I think that's what brought out this caution here. Was just, we talked about when you get on the apron with these cars, it just really upsets them. So you can see here, catches the apron, tries to get back on track, but then when you get that kind of between the banking and the flat, it just completely upsets the car. So you can see it just slides on the inside there. Again, no damage to the car, just a little bit of obviously a little bit of tire wear that he'll be able to easily get taken care of here under caution. But I have a feeling though that looks like it's going to be Charles Johnson. Yeah, it looks like Charles Johnson in the 28 car. He's going to be extremely pleased about this caution, because he's going to now be able to get that wave around here and get back onto the lead lap.
And that will put Bud Steele on deck for the next the next lucky dog.
Yeah, exactly right. I don't think definitely won't see the whole field in here. So nobody's going to stay out to take a wave around that way. It just hasn't been a long enough run there. But yeah, like you mentioned though, Bud Steele will be the next one, because he's the only other car a lap down. And then after that, it would be between that 6 of Chris Jabot and then the 88 of Michael Spell. So you see there, the 88 car is back on track. Does have the suspension issues cleared up there, so it looks like that toe did the trick for him. Just unfortunate though, that cost him a lap in the process to get that happening here. Actually, surprisingly though, look, leaders are in here. Eric Schaus and company are in, so that's going to put Jack Walls in the lead. So that little pit strategy actually is working out extremely well for him.
That's pretty interesting. Wonder how far back he's going to be after this.
It's a pretty mixed bag of strategy. As I'm looking, it looks like pretty much every other driver here made some pit stops. So I think, wait till everything cycles through. I think Eric's going to be right around the top 10 here. I should say towards the end of the top 10. So we'll keep an eye on that. So I'm waiting for the ticker to update. It looks like he's showing right now in the 9th position. So I'm going to guess he'll probably jump up to 8th. I have a feeling we'll see the 00 car make a pit stop there after that slide through the grass. I'm sure he'll want to get some tires on that machine. But yeah, so we'll have to see. It's going to be kind of an interesting call there. And I'm not sure what's going on also. I don't know if you see it on your end or not, Steve, but I've got a pit crew member that's kind of blocking the first pit stall there. So kind of an interesting little oddity there on the pit stops I was noticing on my screen at least.
No, actually, I didn't see that.
Yep, looks like my prediction is correct. Here comes that 00 in. Chris Jabot's going to pit as well as Michael Spell. That makes perfect sense. So again, these guys are trapped 2 down, so there's no real benefit for them staying out here. Might as well get as much tires and fuel as you can in the car. Just top it off to the max, basically, because then, of course, if you get a caution in the middle of the pit stop cycle, that could benefit you on that long run.
Okay, so it looks like Eric Schaus is going to be in 8th on the restart. So I'm very curious to see what kind of progress him and Craig Forsyth can make.
I think it's going to be similar to Jack. I think they'll be able to get to that top 3 or so without too much trouble, depending on where the drivers are at. You saw there Jack was able to make that top line work extremely well. The problem, though, I feel like is going to be just once you get to that 83 car, I think just your options are going to be really limited on where you can go. So right now things are pretty evened out between them. Again, it was only, I believe, an 8-point difference entering tonight's race. Obviously, advantage initially goes to Eric with the pole position, getting that bonus point there. Both drivers now have led a lap, so that's going to be nullified. Next bonus point, of course, is going to be for leading the most laps. And then there's also the option for if you are not involved in any incidents, you get some bonus points on that. And of course, winning the race, there's some bonus points there. So still a lot of points at play for these drivers. So it's gonna be interesting to see, Steve. I say there's a lot still to play for, and I say a lot of time, of course, to go. I say we're on lap number 21 of 100, so 80 to go here. So I believe going to be still 2 pit stops to make it to the end. I don't think anybody can stretch it on one stop here at this point. It'd just be too far in field. But I think 2 is 2 doable. I'm looking at the numbers now. I don't think 2 stops is doable yet here, Steve, because with 80 to go, they could only go about 33 or so laps. That's going to still be a 3-stopper if my math is right.
That would be correct.
It's never been my strong suit, but I need to get a calculator here or something for me. That way I can start plugging numbers during broadcasts and during my races too.
No, wait, it's a 2-stopper. Right?
Oh, you're right. No, yeah, you're right. It would be it wouldn't be a 1-stopper. It'd be a 2-stopper. Yeah.
Right.
See, I'm telling you, man, math's not my strong suit. All right, the pace car's going to duck off here. And again, that number 83 can jump whenever he is ready, so we're going to keep an eye on him. And then Charles Teed's going to have to try to react as well as he can. And Jack Walls is away. Looks like a pretty good start for that number 83 machine. Saying from second on back, they actually stay pretty close together. Those top 4 hang on pretty well. They're able to gap the 90 of John Brill just a little bit. Again, that's where it's going to take a little bit more time, I feel like, for Eric Schaus, Craig Forsyth to kind of close that gap back up. So we'll see how they progress here through the field. But sure enough, there goes Charles Teed. He's going to try to peek to the outside. So you got a Shell Pennzoil versus Valvoline battle. Looks like at least paint scheme wise up front here. I say right now advantage again, going to be to that inside line for sure. And also I see now Benjamin Combs, Brandon Pasalacqua. Brandon's kind of snuck up here as well. Started 16th, now up into 4th. Same thing for Charles. Charles started 13th in his second now. So talk about that pit stop cycle, how it shook things up here. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. But right now we stay green. Say top 5, top 6 all bundled together. See Gary Corley, he's joined the mix now. Next one to kind of bring up into this battle is going to be Art Peck in that number 36 machine. And then right behind him, Craig Forsyth in the 8th position here. Eric Schaus looks like he is showing in the 9th position.
It's interesting. Not long after that restart, Eric got a run on Art Peck for 7th spot going into turn 4 or turn 1. And Art Peck was able to hold his position on the outside. And then Craig Forsyth went on the outside behind Art, and they were both able to get back by Eric Schaus. Although now it looks like Art is dropping back, and Eric and Craig are starting to work through the. We got a 3 wide here. Yeah,
it's a 3 wide. You see Craig, he gives room. He doesn't want to be in the middle of that. It's too early for him. Eric's going after it here. So you see he's able to get to the inside as well of Brandon Pasalacqua. So that's going to move Eric now up into 5th. But yeah, anytime you see 3 wide here at pretty much any track, you definitely get a little bit nervous. But so far so good. Oh, you can see John Brill in the 90. He's working on the inside of that 77 Benjamin Combs for the 3rd position. Saying this is where things get a little busy. Everybody's kind of fighting for the same real estate. I'm saying these things all are happening so fast. I mean, these cars are going 220 through the turns. And saying they're approaching 230 as they get into the backstretch, entering turn number 1, turn number 3. Actually, just noticed here the 81 of Todd Merkel. He's going through the grass. Looks like he had a moment here. So he's going to try to get it down into the pits. Up front, though, we still stay green. Oh, as the 90 disappears in front of the number 72. Oh, he shows up right in front of him.
No.
Oh, somehow they kind of warp through each other. So we stay green. That was not green for too long. Oh, John Brill is up and over and coming across the track. Actually, we still stay green because he's on the bottom. There's his caution is out. Actually, looks like we have troubles a little further up. The 16 of Christopher Kresge, he's around as well. So we saw, unfortunately, that's just the connection issues that sometimes arise. We saw the 90 was starting to disappear a little bit. So we saw him go for a ride. Also saw the 16 have a moment as well.
That was amazing. I don't think I've ever seen a car warp out, come back in the middle of another car, and not cause a wreck right at that point.
Yeah, and I say, and actually, I'm waiting to see. I'm watching the 16 with Christopher Kresge. Nah, I think the caution was definitely for the 90 of John Brill. So unfortunately, he definitely went for a wild ride, like we had mentioned there. Caution's going to be, I believe, the big break for Bud Steele. That's going to get him back onto the lead lap here. I'll say, let's go back and let's watch this full incident here. So like you mentioned, we were watching that number 90C is already disappearing on the replay. There it goes. So watch the 77 here. You can see he reappears inside the 77 machine. Again, this is definitely not what you want to see when you're a competitor. You just have a bad feeling that everything's going to end poorly here. And then he's able to then get it back together. And you see he immediately jumps to the top. So he's like, oh, I'm having connection issues. I got to get out of the way here. And then unfortunately, Gary Corley in the 65. He tries to see if he can sneak around the 90 car. It looks like a little bit of contact between himself and that number 90. And then just from there, the 90, just nothing he can do. That car's going to go up across the wall. And saying almost kept it just pointing in the right direction. Just that very last second, had to loop it around. And saying you can see he's pretty much come to a stop. And that's when you see those two cars there, the 48 and the 88, come by with a huge head of steam. I believe that's what brought that caution out. And looks like we have some more pit strategy here, Steve. I see a handful staying out. Looks like the top 6 stayed out. 7th on back are going to make pit stops, so that's going to change the running order a little bit. And as we mentioned, that number 6 of Bud Steele, that's going to get him back on the lead lap. So now the battle is going to be between the number 5 of Chris Jabot and then that car right behind him, that 88 of Michael Spell. That's going to say, because they're actually both 2 laps down right now. So this is, I'll say, the next caution is going to be critical for the 2 of them, because whoever between the 2 of them get the 1 lap back, or more than likely, should another caution arise, they would actually get the next lap back as well. So I'll say that's going to be a pretty big battle, I feel like, for position between those 2. So we'll see if they make pit stops or if they're going to try to stay with the track position strategy. Let's see if there's any. Yeah, Michael's going to pit. Chris is going to stay out. So Chris is hoping to have that track position advantage over the 88 car. We'll see if that's going to pay off, because the only issue for Chris here is that he's going to have to still restart behind all these other lap cars that made those pit stops. So he's not going to have that track position advantage that he might be hoping for here.
And they're going to be, well, let's see, Michael Spell have 12 lap pressure tires, which we've seen can make a bit of a difference when you're farther back in the pack.
Oh yeah, no, tires can definitely play a role here. So we'll have to see, because again, it looks like from Charles Johnson on back, all of them took tires and fuel. Actually, you know what? No, I lie. Charles Johnson fuel only in the number 28 car. Again, he was actually back in the pack from that last Lucky Dog. So this caution, yes, he went with some kind of an opposing strategy, if you will, to still be an even fuel with those guys behind him, but on slightly older tires. So a little bit of mixed strategy there for the 28 machinist. I kind of like it, actually, because it wasn't too long of a run, and now you're feeling a little bit better too if it's a long run to the end. And on the fuel side of things, let's say we're going to restart with about, let's see, it looks like 67 to go. I'm going to say somewhere in that range. That could be right on the edge of the fuel numbers. Anybody going to top off on that 1 to go to maybe try a pit strategy here as well?
I see one car pulling in.
Yep, James Ledford. So it looks like James is going to be the only one to do this strategy here, on the topping off side of things at least. So up front, though, it's going to still be the 83 of Jack Walls, but now he's going to have some pretty hungry competition behind him. Again, this is the top 3 in the points here. Jack Walls, again, second in the points entering the race. Behind him, Eric Schaus, points leader entering, and then third place in points, that 131 of Craig Forsyth. So is to say there's a reason why they're the top 3 in points, and that's why right there to say we got all 3 up front here. As we're just at about a third of the distance of the race, lap 33 of 100. So we got 2/3 remaining to go. And I'll say another driver we got to mention, of course, though, Steve. A little that earlier incident going through the apron, Don Runkle Jr., he stayed out under that caution. He's going to jump up all the way into 6th position here, so he's going to have a lot cleaner track in front of him. Probably hoping for a little bit less craziness than it would be in kind of mid-pack where he was earlier when that happened. So we'll see how this strategy pans out for that 00 machine.
Yeah, I was about to mention that, but I'm glad you did. It's going to be interesting because I know in the stock cars, when you're like the last guy on 11 lap older tires, you're in big trouble. But I don't think it's going to be as bad here. So
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how Don does with that.
Yeah, I think he'll be okay. Again, you see the restart there spread out a little bit. Again, we're talking about that draft. You're going to see the 83 car just hug the bottom line as they come out of turn 2. And sure enough, right on that white line again. It's pretty much like a plate race. You cannot pass below the yellow line, white line, whatever it may be. And also cannot run down the apron through the tri-oval. However, that being said, though, Eric's gotten... This is the furthest up I've seen anybody get battling for the lead here. Usually they've been stuck about a car length or so, but Eric's actually been able to get right to the side pod of that 83. And you can see he's doing that same strategy we've seen before where I'm kind of ducking behind him, get the draft off of the exit, and then jump to the outside. But again, it looks like now that the speeds have picked right back up, advantage is going to be back to the 83 of Jack Walls, just going to be hugging that inside line here.
Okay, what he's doing right now is what I was doing in practice. And I'm curious to see if he can make it work. So far he can't.
Yeah, so you can see those lap times are going to start picking up as well. Christopher Kresge, that 24:187 there, fastest lap of the race. So he's back in 15th position, but again, he's going to get a ton of draft. That's going to bring him right back into the mix. As you can see, we've got now pretty much the top 8 here all together. And yeah, it looks like those older tires for the 00 are not hampering him at all. Don Runkle Jr. right now right in that 6th spot, right in the top line there. So he's going to have a visitor there. It looks like Charles Teed on the inside. See Charles Johnson right there as well. Again, Charles topped off on fuel. Oh, a big move there for the 131 of Craig Forsyth. Jumped across the nose of that 72 of Eric Schaus. Craig wants to lead the top side here, see if he can make something happen. So this is going to be that battle where who's going to try to be the one to lead the group. And of course, also I think just want to be the first car leading that top line, if you will. Like you said, if the 83 does start to have that push. Try to take advantage of that. As I say that, here comes the 50 David Leclerc. He's going to go that little bit higher and see if he can make something happen as well.
Somewhere near the back, I saw a car go sliding off into the grass.
Oh yeah, looks like it was 16 of Christopher Kresge. He's about a full straightaway behind the leaders here. Car looks clean though. I think he just had a bit of a slide there, like you'd mentioned there, Steve. But I think he's going to be okay. So we're going to jump back up front and keep an eye on the battle up front. And I think I'm noticing the 70. Oh, as I was just about to say, the 72 might be taking it easy a little bit there. Caught the apron, I think, had a big moment there, saved it. But now he's kind of opened up the inside line to that number 27 of Charles Teed. But it looks like he's able to hang on to it there, and he's going to grab that spot back. Oh, we got a lot of battle here going on. Don Runkle Jr. Oh, I saw one spin to the inside. No. Looks like the 77, I believe that was. Yeah, Benjamin Combs. Looks like another one just spun around here. He's going to get things pointed in the right direction. And again, we still stay green here. We are going to start lap number 41, 60 to go. And you see the 77 Benjamin Combs trying to get things going again. Let's see if he pits. Looks like he's going to stay out. So let's jump back to our race lead again. Craig Forsyth trying to make the top side happen. I was going to say it looked like the 72 of Eric Schaus was kind of riding there for a little bit, but as I say that now, he's fighting for that 3rd position.
Yeah, he had a chance to dive under David Leclerc, and he took it. And it looked like he was going to go flying by, but David was able to, I guess, get some draft from behind and keep the position. And now Eric's losing another spot down there on the bottom.
I think the top line's starting to come in, Steve. You mentioned that he starts getting tight on the bottom. I think we're seeing that here. And so I'll say, obviously, if you have the clean air, you're going to be in a better spot if you're Jack Walls. But I think if you're stuck on the inside line, maybe 3, 4, 5 cars back, I think that the push combined with the aero push, I think that's where things are really starting to hurt these drivers. So we'll see if that's enough to affect the 83 of Jack Walls, because you can see nobody's fighting now to get to the inside for the most part. Everybody wants to be in that middle to upper groove here, because I think that's now where that momentum is. So this track is changing here as this run progresses.
And I think that those 11 laps fresher tires are probably making a bit of a difference. because if the guys on the older tires have gone long enough now that they're starting to get that push, the guys on the fresh tires aren't having that push yet.
Yeah, so I'm trying to watch a little further back as well. Things are definitely starting to get busy in the midfield here. From about, you can see right there, right behind Eric Schaus, just everybody's all bundled together now. I see right behind him, trying to see who that was there. I think that is Corey Lane there. See Charles Johnson there, Brendan Pasalakwa's in there. I want to say, actually, I think I see the 88 of Michael Spell. I see a little further back, but I think he's actually, oh yeah, he's jumped ahead of this 5 of Chris Jabot. Chris actually fallen off the draft here, so something happened to that number 5 machine. Oh, as I say that, we do have a yellow. Haven't found it yet. Oh, it looks like the 23 of Brandon Pasalakwa. Yeah, we do have trouble there. He is missing the front nose cone of that car. Not seeing anybody else here, so that may be the only car involved. But let's see what happens to that number 23.
I'm trying to see what number it is. There's a blue car down on the bottom, and the black car comes up to pass him on the outside, and they touch each other, and that's what kind of sets everything off.
Oh yeah, it was the Art Peck, I believe. Yeah, he gets into the right rear or left rear quarter panel of the 23, and then see a little bit of contact. Oh, Don Runkle Jr. just somehow barely squeaks through that, so he's able to survive there. And it looks like, yeah, so somehow with all of that being said, that's going to be a single car incident, it looks like. And saying that unfortunately whatever happened to that number 5 of Chris Jabot, that's going to, I think, come back to bite him, because I believe that's going to give that free pass to the 88 of Michael Spell. Let's jump up front and check, and yep, sure enough, there goes Michael. So he's going to get one of those 2 laps back here. And it looks like on the strategy side of things, I'm seeing Bud Steele in that number 6 car. He wants to stay out here, and at the moment looks like he's going to stay out here to lead the race. We'll see if he's going to stick with that strategy or if he's going to maybe duck into the pits, because I'm looking at a couple cars behind him, that number 81 of Todd Merkel and then the number 5 of Chris Jabot. Pits weren't open for them there, but if they see that 6 stuck in here, Steve, they could actually stay out and then get a wave around the old-fashioned way as well.
Which, yeah, I'd probably do that if I had the opportunity.
As I'm looking at their fuel numbers, that's going to be the critical thing. Bud's got 16 laps since his last pit stop. It looks like 18 for Todd Merkel. But again, Chris didn't pit there, so he's on 28 laps here. So he's going to be pretty low on fuel. But let's watch the 6 car, because he's actually riding the apron, which either means he's pitting or he's saving fuel, and he is saving fuel. So now if you're those guys behind, yeah, this is the time to duck in then. So Bud's going complete opposite strategy here in that number 6 machine.
Okay, I have a little better view now of what happened in that accident. Brandon Pasalakwa is going into turn 3, and he just barely touches the apron as Art Peck is about to come up on his outside, and that causes his car to wiggle a little bit. And Art took an evasive maneuver, and I think it slowed him down a little bit, and I have to see who's next behind him. Not Don. Oh, sorry, it was Charles Johnson that touched the apron, and Brandon Pasalakwa had to take a little evasive maneuver, and then Art Peck had such a head of steam coming up there, he could not stay off of Brandon Pasalakwa, and that's what caused the accident.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. Yeah, I think you are spot on there, Steve. I was saying that he saw also that 0 in that incident as well. I think he got away with it though. I'm watching my stream here.
His car actually went through the.
Yeah, so that's always a little wild when that happens.
Yeah, I guess that's Art Peck's car. It looks like their tires are like merged into each other.
All right, so Steve, we've got 2 that stayed out actually. Bud Steele, Christopher Kresge. They both pitted about a lap opposite of each other, so 18 and 19 laps ago. Everybody else there is on 4 tires and fuel. Looks like again, Michael Spell is going to be the first car one down. So we're going to have 19 cars on the lead lap, 22 still in the race. I'll say Jason Bridges in the 34 unfortunately has retired from the event this evening. So basically, if you're Michael here, you're just going to want to cruise, stay out of trouble, because should another caution come out, that's going to put you back onto the lead lap. Of course, though, if he does get involved in an incident, if the 5 car is able to get away with it clean, that would then give Chris Jabot one of his 2 laps back, which would then put him up again for battle with that number 88 car. So a little different than NASCAR, where they basically, if someone is involved in the incident, they just don't give anybody a lucky dog. In iRacing, it goes to the next car in line. So that said, pace car is off. Now we wait for that Bud Steele to fire off, and he is away. So we'll see now how the restart's going to go, because I see Jack Walls. He is right on the back bumper of that 16 of Christopher Kresge. But the problem is he has to make sure he's not too close too soon, because otherwise he's going to get to the back of that car and not have enough momentum to make a pass. So we'll watch as they come out of 2. As you can see, right away he's going to look to the outside of that 16 car. Doesn't have the momentum yet. As they come through 3 and 4, though, they're going to start closing up on the 6, and then you're going to have these 4 cars here all within about a tenth or so of a second of each other.
Yeah, and I would note that the third
3 wide
car had,
contact. What a save by Christopher Kresge. I don't know how he held on to that. But yeah, I'll say we went 3 wide there. We had contact between the 83 and the 131. The one thing that could come into play there is if that may have caused any incident points, because that would take away the bonus points for the 83. So that could actually hurt him in that if the 72 and the 131 can keep it clean. So what you're going to see now, though, is there's definitely going to be some aggression with these guys, Steve, because each of these drivers here all know they're on fresher tires than Bud Steele, so they want to be the one to capitalize on this with the fresher tires and be that driver to get the lead here and be able to try to control this race.
Pack of rabid dogs.
That's exactly it. They see those 16, now 22 lap tires on that number 6 car, and they say, oh, okay, this is mine for the taking. I need to be the one to lead this pack. But you can see, though, the 83 of Jack Walls, he's going to be right on. As we go 3 wide again. Looks like Eric rolls out of it. A good call. Eric thinks otherwise that was going to end in tears for all 3 of them. But again, though, it looks like now Jack's actually able to get the draft behind the 6 of Bud Steele. And right now, actually, he's just holding on to the back bumper. He doesn't want to go anywhere at the moment, which I kind of thought he'd be the first one to jump to the top. But right now, we stay steady. And you can still see Christopher Kresge. He's still holding on to this group as well. As now, Eric Schaus, he's going to be the one to go to the top side. But you can see, though, Craig Forsythe looked to the inside. Oh, man, this is getting tight up here.
Yeah, it is, definitely. And I think we're seeing that the clean air, just like in the Cup cars, makes a big difference, because Bud Steele on those 15 lap older tires is able to keep these guys from getting past them.
Yeah, so the only risk for Bud here is, of course, a long green flag run. He's going to be hoping for a caution probably about 10, 15 laps or so. Otherwise, he's going to have to make a green flag pit stop before the rest of these guys. And I don't think he's going to have enough fuel to get to the end. So say we saw that caution timing worked out pretty well. I believe it was actually for Jack Walls in the last one. So he's hoping for the same luck here. But you can see, though, Eric Schaus now right to the outside of that number 6 machine. And this is where the kind of that strategy plays in here is if you can try to keep that car pinched down on the one next to you, slow their momentum down, that's going to help your cause and try to make these passes happen.
Yeah, he's got Craig Forsythe behind him, giving a little push. We'll see if that helps or not.
Yeah, right now they are everywhere here, all over the track. It looks like the whole field's all caught back up again. So again, business definitely picking up in front. See David Leclerc, he's caught up into this group as well. Charles Teed's in the mix here. So yeah, we've got pretty much everybody in this battle right now. But again, though, we talked about that. It's in that 30 lap range, 30, 35, somewhere in that window. As I see one down in the grass, couldn't quite catch. I think that was the 77. Yeah, it was Benjamin Combs. Just a little bit of off-road action there. Gets it back here. He's going to get it back on track. Great hands for that 77 car. He's not wanting to have this keep happening to him, but he's been able to react. As I see his climb. Oh, my goodness. We got more contact. They kind of just barely touched off each other. That's going to open the door for Jack Walls there. But yeah, so it looked like contact between all three of those championship contenders there, the 83, the 131, and the 72. Again, don't know if that gives them, because the way iRacing works, if it's really light contact, it might give you a 0x. However, if it's a hard enough hit, it'll give you a 4x. And say it's that if you get a 1, 2, or 4x, that's going to be enough to take away your bonus points for a clean race. So yeah, I'll say that was a moment there for all three of those drivers. They're actually all four really of these top four drivers here.
I'm glad that none of them got damaged, at least to the point where it hurt their ability to compete, because this is some great racing going on up front.
Yeah, and this kind of proves your point too, Steve. You're talking about the clean air is king. I mean, it's showing right now as Bud Steele now is on lap number 30 of his run. Everybody else here is about lap 15 on theirs. So still a lot of time for those guys to make until they need to make any pit stops. And that's going to be the next question is, should we go green to get to that green flag pit stop? We know Bud Steele's going to have to pit here in probably about 5 to 6 laps. I don't think it's going to... Well, actually, you know, if he can go 5 or 6 laps, this could get him to his pit window. Because we're at 39 to go already here, Steve. And that'll be the next question is, when do these other leaders blink? Because they want to try to, of course, get that over-under, if you will, kind of short pit strategy or long strategy, depending on where you are on track here.
Yeah, I'm thinking that I don't know. I mean, these cars go so much faster in the draft. If you do a pit early strategy and you come out and you're not in the draft, I think it's going to actually hurt you. So if I'm these guys, I'm going to stay out as long as I possibly can, even if somebody just lost it and back, and there's a wreck.
Oh yeah, see, it's the 10 of Corey Lane was involved, so it's going to throw all this out the window. As it's going to bring us under yellow, and it's going to be right around the pit stop window we'd mentioned. I see the 65 of Gary Corley. Oh, he's pitting there. He's missing his right front wing end plate. So, yeah, so we are back under yellow. Let's go and see what happened here. So we saw the 65 and the 10 were involved. It looks like it started further up with the 10. So we're watching here. We got 10 of... Oh, actually, it looks like he may have had contact there on the backstretch. I'm not sure if it was net code or not. Let's try to get a better view here. Looks like the 28 of Charles Johnson's just got such a big run. Try to duck to the inside. Just went in a little too late there, and that's where the contact between the 10 and the 28 happened. And then you can see Corey tries to hang on to it, but again, once he gets that transition piece, actually no, Gary Corley, just nowhere for him to go. He gets a hard hit into the back, and then we'll see if everybody else is able to get around this. So far, everybody's, again, I'm running super slow-mo here. These guys are probably going at still about 200 miles an hour, but you can see just great hands for all these drivers. Looks like everybody's able to sneak around it. So that is going to put us back under yellow. Pit stops are already underway. And again, we have another pit stop strategy here, Steve, as we watch the 72 of Eric Schaus. He's going to pit. And it looks like we have one driver who is staying out, and I'll give you one guess as to who it was.
Oh, my God. Jack Wall stayed out?
That number 83, Jack Walls, he stays out here. So my only thought is that he doesn't think anybody can make it to the end on this stop here. So he's thinking that everybody's going to have to pit for at least a splash here. So this is a big gamble, I think, if you're the 85 car. And also, I think if you're behind him, like the number 5 machine of Chris Jabot, you're not the happiest that he stayed out there, because you're thinking, oh man, I'm in the perfect position. I'm going to get one of those wave arounds here and then be able to see what's going to happen. But unfortunately, he stays out. So yeah, our 83 is going to stay out. Michael Spell was the lucky dog, so Michael now back onto the lead lap. So now Chris is going to be hoping for 2 more cautions for him to get back into this race. Which, if that happens, I think all these drivers that pitted other than Jack Walls, I think everybody else can make it to the end here.
That's what I think too. I'm going to seriously question this strategy, because it's not going to be that many laps before Jack Walls has to pit. And if this stays green and he has to pit under green, he's going to be in serious trouble, especially if everybody else can make it to the end.
Well, so you see everybody behind him. If they can't, they're trying hard to make it, because you can see Craig Forsyth, he's running the apron. The 50 of Dave Leclerc is also on the apron. Eric Schaus is running the apron there. So all these guys going full fuel save right now. So well, actually, let's try to hop on board and we'll look. So you can see Craig actually running in fourth gear right now. Again, they also have that fuel mode that they can change between the different fuel maps under caution. So I'm going to guess that he's probably in the saving fuel map at the moment, as are probably all of these cars here. So let's jump over to that number 6 machine. So you can see he's cruising around in 6th gear. So a little bit different trains of thought between them on what gear is the one that's going to save the most fuel. And what I want to see is further back, does anybody top off? And sure enough, here comes Charles Johnson. He's going to be the first to top off. The 48 of James Ledford is. And I see 2 more, which I think makes perfect sense. Michael Spell, he had the EOL anyway. That's a perfect call for him, as well as the 10 of Corey Lane. He was in that last incident. So I like this top off strategy. So it's going to give you that extra maybe half a gallon or so. But again, if we go green, I mean, that could be all you need to make it to the end without having to go full fuel save.
Yep, I like that, definitely.
That being said, not to be a pessimist, but I don't think we're going to go green to the end because I think there's going to be a lot of aggression here. We're going to have that same situation where we saw Bud Steele leading that last part of the race. Everybody else trying to jump around him is like, oh man, he's on old tires, let's take advantage. And we saw how aggressive they were being. So I think we're going to see the exact same thing happen here, but now with everybody kind of smelling blood in the water with that number 83 of Jack Walls.
Yep, I agree.
So again, our points battle right now. Eric Schaus, the 72, is our points leader entering the event. Right now, he is showing in 5th. In the 2nd spot, right behind him, I believe by 8 points, was Jack Walls leading the race right now, and then Craig Forsyth in 3rd. He was the other driver there, right in the mix here. And so you can see, Jack's going to waste no time. He is up and away. He's going to get a great start over those cars behind him here.
Yeah, he sure did. I'll say one thing though. When those guys catch him, they're going to have one heck of a head of steam.
Yeah, and that's exactly it. So you pretty much need about 2 seconds to not have the draft behind you. So Bud Steele still is going to have plenty of draft behind. I'm saying he's going to, I mean, right now just on that restart lap, he's hitting 220. He's hitting 220 there, entering turn number 3, and it's only going to get faster as they keep the speed up here. So now you see again the battle for who's going to be the one to lead this fight. You see David Leclerc. Craig Forsyth, he's trying to hold off David Leclerc as here comes that momentum. You see the 6 of Bud Steele. He's going to get a big toe off the 83, but now can he do anything with it once he gets to him?
I don't think so, because he didn't have enough momentum when he got there.
We have 31 to go. So I had a feeling we're going to see a fastest lap of the race on that restart, and sure enough, there it is. Jim Brooks, 24-184. We haven't mentioned him too much in this race. I think he's been kind of just cruising there in the back as we have 3 wide behind for the 3rd position there as they get back to 2 wide here, but you can see Craig Forsyth, David Leclerc, Eric Schaus all fighting for every inch they can get. Right now, though, so you can see Craig running on the inside line. Again, they go 3 wide for just a moment, then get back down to 2 wide. But right now, though, actually, I think Bud here is doing some strategy. He doesn't want to get right onto the back bumper of these guys in front of him. Because I think what these guys are all doing here actually is going full fuel save while trying to hold track position. So it's kind of two races in one, if you will.
Eric Schaus is being very aggressive up there.
Yeah, I think he knows what's happening here. If he can be that, close between the 131.72 out of 2, they stay off each other by inches. But yeah, I think you're exactly right there, and he actually is able to get that pass, so move Eric now into 3rd. Now he's going to work on that 6 of Bud Steele.
And I would like to give a shout out to Don Runkle, who's holding his own on the outside there in looks like 7th spot.
Yeah, running right in that 7th position, just to the just right behind. Looks like Charles Teed in the 27 car. Says it looks like Eric now working. I see one going through the grass in the back. That is the 28 of Charles Johnson. So he's still trying to hang on to it, drifting it through 3 and 4, keeps it straight somehow. So we stay green after all of that's said and done. So now again we'll jump back to our race leaders here. Watch the craziness. Jack Wall still holding on to lead again. He's due to pit in probably about, I'd say, 10 laps at the most. But what's happening here, though, is everybody wants to be that first car behind him, because when he does duck off into the pits, they want to be that car controlling the race here on the inside line, because we've seen that inside line appears to be pretty much impossible to pass.
Yeah, that's how it's looking. Got a great battle going on for second place.
Yeah, they are side by side, not door to door, side by side, pod wheel to wheel. Really, I'll say they were just inches apart again. So you can see actually though, Bud's not really running the very low line there. He's kind of staggering off a little bit. I think just trying to get a little bit of clean air on the nose of that 6 car to help it not push so much. You see again David Leclerc thinking about trying to make this top line happen. Just again, there's just not enough momentum for it to happen yet. As you mentioned, the 00 Don Runkle Jr. now still showing in the 7th position. Apologies. But I noticed that 76 car Jim Brooks, he's now crept up into the picture, now showing in 8th. I think some of these guys decided, all right, we've waited around long enough. Now it's time to really get after it. Also, again, I'd say I'm not sure who all. Big contact with the 76 there. I think he got some help. He's going to get hit from behind from the 90 of John Brill. We're going to be under caution as the 76 goes up and over the 90, so they're going to have to limp it back to the pits here. So we're going to see what happened and bring out this caution. But that being said, this is going to be, I think, a big benefit for that number 5 of Chris Jabot. I think he will be the first car now 1 lap down. Actually, I'm showing Michael Spell 2 down. Not sure what happened to the 88 car.
I'm not sure either, but Jack Walls is going to have to pit here. And
probably only Jack Walls.
That's right. Which is going to put him somewhere near the tail end of the lead lap, and I don't think any of these guys up front are going to pit again. So
we had a 3 wide there going to turn 1 there. The 00 on the inside, and I think it was the 27 of Charles T. Jim Brooks. They made contact there entering turn number 1, and then saying unfortunately, Jim's able to somehow doesn't actually flip the car. But then, so you can see here comes the 90 of John Brill, just nowhere for him to go. Again, I'm running super slow-mo so that he gets hit from behind by that 90 machine. So that's where the caution comes out when those two get together. Again, both cars able to make it back to the pits, it looked like. So they will get their fast repairs done. And yeah, so sure enough, it is the pit strategy we expected to see. We've got the 6 of Bud Steele. He stays out. Eric Schau stays out. David Leclerc stays out. And it looks like Charles Johnson, actually, who's doing that drifting there a little earlier on, he stays out as well. And I think now we've got to see who's going to be the first car out of the pits. I was going to say it's probably going to be 83 of Jack Walls, and it is. Craig Forsyth going to come out in the second car from the pit stop cycle. And then we mentioned Chris Jabot. He does get that wave around, so he's going to now be just 1 lap down. And the only car 1 lap down, so that's a huge break for that number 5 machine. Again, just needs 1 more yellow here. He's been waiting all race to get back into position pretty much to be in contention again. So now he's just hoping for, again, as a competitor, you probably don't want yellows, but when you're in this kind of situation, you're like, all right, guys, just 1 more, please, and then go green.
Okay, we had a little incident under caution. I'm trying to figure out who it was. I think it was Christopher Kresge, maybe?
Let's see. Let me hunt him down here. The 16 machine.
Yeah, it was Christopher Kresge, and it looks like he was trying to catch up to the car in front of him, and he just juiced it too much in the middle of the turn, and the car turned left.
Looks like the car is pretty clean, so I think he got away with it there. So hopefully, at least for his case. But yeah, so again, we're under yellow for a moment here. Right now, Bud Steele leading the way. So that strategy somehow, the timing of those cautions worked out perfectly. So now Bud's going to be our race leader. We got our top 4 did not pit: Eric Schaus, David Leclerc, Charles Johnson. And of course, the first of those that pitted are going to be Jack Walls and Craig Forsyth. So that's going to be our championship competitors showing in 2nd place, 5th place, and 6th place on this restart. And somehow, Steve, with all that craziness on that incident there under caution, that 76 of Jim Brooks, I'm showing him at the moment in the 10th position.
Not bad.
I'm not sure how, but good pit work, I guess, by that 76 crew. So he was able to hustle it back up there. So we'll see if maybe he does get. No, if he had a pit penalty, they would have already had him. He'd already be falling to the back. So yeah, so somehow the 76 car able to get in and out there really quickly. In the 10th position right now, it's showing on my end. Actually, in the 9th position, apologies. So we'll have to see if that does stay in effect. So I think we're going to get the 1 to go here.
I'm going to say that Jack Wall's gamble paid off. I don't think he's going to win the race, but he's got only 4-lap pressure tires, so that's not going to make a difference. But he absolutely has enough gas to make it to the end of the race without having to, back off, save fuel and stuff like that. So he may be able to run harder than some of these guys, but I really think with this caution that everybody's going to be able to run hard to the end. So I don't see Jack Walls being able to get up there and win this thing. But it worked out well for him with how many people decided to also pit that he actually came out in 5th.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think as many cars pitted, that's actually really been a big benefit for the 83. However, we say when the race finishes, that could be lap 100. That could be lap 110, 115, depending on if and when the cautions fall and how many green-white checkers we have. So that could actually throw a big wrench into plans. So if anybody here is running short on gas, let's say we get a wreck with 2 to go, they're going to be sweating their fuel numbers.
That's a really good point.
I say everybody that pitted, though, they can make it to the end, no problem. As we get back underway, you can see Bud Steele, he's going to jump away. Pretty even start, actually, for all the leaders there. You can see they all separate by just a couple of car lengths with each other. But again, though, as they get into turn number 2, through the backstretch into 3. Oh, actually, we have a quick restart yellow. Oh, and it looks like it's going to involve a couple of our drivers that were a lap down. I see the 81 of Todd Merkel. See the 16 of Christopher Kresge, and I thought I saw the 5 of Chris Jabot as well. Not sure if he had to stop to avoid it or if he was involved. Trying to take a better look at the car. He's got rear wing damage. He was involved, so that's actually going to be a huge disadvantage for him because he's not going to get the lucky dog since he was involved in the incident. So let's go ahead and see what happened to bring out this caution on the restart.
Looks like an accordion thing. And that's a shame for Chris because he was the first car a lap down.
Let's see if we can hunt where the accordion started at. Oh yeah, you can see the 90. He gets going, and then he has to check up, and then you can see looks like it starts right around David Leclerc. He slows up as well. Where is actually? Oh, right there, Christopher Kresge. He gets into the back of the 80 of Michael Spell. And I'm actually surprised. Oh, yeah. Oh, I see now. The 16 wound up sliding up the track a little bit. And so heavy hit, though, on the restart. Again, I'm running slow-mo here, so it looks like it's happening really slow. Was definitely much quicker than that. So that's a huge, that's an unfortunate break for that number 5 machine. So now the question is, who wasn't involved in that incident? Because if it's Michael Spell, which it is not, he's got heavy damage too. So actually, I don't know if anybody's going to get a lap back on this one, unless, let's see, because Todd Merkel, I think we saw him get involved as well. I think it might be the 10 of Corey Lane, possibly? No, he's not moving forward either. I'm not sure if anybody got the lucky dog under this yellow, actually. I'm waiting to see if there's a lapper that jumps across through the field here, but so far I'm seeing all the cars a lap down here just cruising lockstep with their leaders. So that unless the pits hadn't opened there, but I think they were already open. So we'll watch here, Steve. Maybe it was this time around. Maybe this time is when the pits opened there. I'm not sure. So, but the fuel thing though, this is a huge benefit for the leaders. Again, now you're gonna have those top 4. They're just gonna go full fuel save mode here. Probably run that special caution map to save extra fuel. I see the 36 Art Peck. He's been in the pits for a while. He is 8 laps down. Also showing Christopher Kresge in the pits still as 2 laps down. So after all this is all said and done, though, Chris Jabot still going to be the only car 1 lap down. John Ruckel Jr. pitting from the 8th position. Not sure if he had any damage or not to his 00 machine. Looks okay from where I'm sitting, but might be something that he was aware of versus where we were. So he's going to grab tires and fuel on that 00 machine. And the other thought is maybe he just doesn't, the mix of all this craziness here on this restart. Or maybe he had to step away because I see him as possibly disconnecting here.
Yeah, I saw his car just disappear. Wonder what happened.
Well, obviously we have some insider info. We know that he's got new screen setup going on, so maybe a little bit of a hiccup on that front. So we'll keep an eye and see if he comes back on track or not. Maybe he had to fix a setting where you have to kind of exit out for a second, then jump back in. So it's still showing him as pit instead of as out. So hopefully he's able to get back into it. So it'd be a shame to see him jump out here, only 15 laps away from the end.
Yeah, definitely. He was running so well.
But we will wait and see on that. Obviously position changed pretty much none because nobody ever really got up to speed there under that incident. So I'm looking to see. Yeah, I don't see the 00 popping back in. So whatever's going on, I think that's going to be it for him tonight, or at least going to cost him a lap. So we'll see on that one. We get the 1 to green here. So unfortunately, I'll say whatever happened to 00. Unfortunately, he was having a good run. It was fun to see him get set up there with those new screens. I'm looking forward to getting him all squared away with it a little better on the long run. Now we got to go back to this battle on hand. We're going to restart here with 14 to go. I think all those drivers that were a little nervous about fuel are feeling pretty good now. They've had 2 yellows to be able to save a ton of fuel. And of course, drivers are going to be a little bit more aware on these restarts of that accordion effect, I'm sure. Especially that number 5 of Chris Chabot, as we mentioned, he's back on track. He's got the repair fixed. I think that was probably his last fast repair as well, so he's going to have to keep it clean here to the end to be able to be in contention for this one, and to be in the spot to get a lucky dog as well.
If I'm Chris, I'm leaving plenty of room between me and the cars ahead of me and hoping for another yellow.
Yeah, I almost would say, just on the start here, just drop to the bottom, just hang on to the draft. Or actually, you don't even need to be in the draft. I think you could probably run fast enough laps by yourself and not get lapped. So we'll see. We'll keep an eye on his ticker, but hopefully he's able to get. Obviously we want to see it get green to the end, but on his side, he'd like to see a yellow that he's not involved in. As we get back underway, good start there by Bud Steele. Again, though, all these drivers here, pretty even starts there. However, I'm looking at that number 50 of David Leclerc. He is pretty close to that 72 of Eric Schaus. We'll see if David's able to get kind of that double draft, if you will, and kind of bring that gap in close here as they come down the backstretch. As you can see right away, that 6 of Bud Steele, he's actually trying to break the draft a little bit before even things get all the way bundled up together. As we're going to come across the line here for 13 to go. Right now, you can see Bud's got to be careful. He's opening up the inside just a little too much, and I think he's opened the door. I don't know if that was a good move there. I think it's going to hurt that 6 of Bud Steele. So now that 72 of Eric Schaus, he's got the inside line. He's got the momentum that he was looking for. So right now they go 2 by 2 down the back. But yeah, I think, Steve, that may have he opened that door. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. It looks like possibly net code, but we stay green. And you can see the Bud's doing everything he can there. But yeah, just you open up an inch there, Steve, and someone's going to try to get that gap.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a mistake on Bud Steele's part. But he's really fighting back on the outside. This is fun to watch.
Yeah, he is pinching that 72 as hard as he can. You can see it's 131 of Craig Forsyth. He's going to jump to the inside. He wants to use this momentum. Because, again, if there's any contact between the two of them, that's going to jump the 6 to the top of the track. So, actually, I think right now the inside line is going to be where you want to be here. And you can see, though, Craig Forsyth now up into third. Now here comes the rest of the field here with a big head of steam. I saw Brendan Pasalacqua in there. I saw Jim Brooks. Obviously, we mentioned David Leclerc. He's in this mix here as well. I think I saw Charles Johnson in here as well. So, yeah, you're right, though. Bud's holding strong here, right? Oh, on the door. That's close.
That was. I can't believe that wasn't a wreck.
As we have 10 to go at the line here. You can see everybody's pretty much now 2 by 2 down the back. Again, the inside line, though, if you're that 131 on back, you're going to start pushing a little bit. And actually, he disappeared.
Yeah, he kind of, I think he kind of wiggled and went down onto the grass. I got to go back and look.
Oh, you're right. No, he is still good. Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right. So he's going to lose a ton of spots there. He's falling back as the last car in the lead lap, so we're going to jump back up front. So that's going to hurt his chances here, obviously. Again, still, you never know how it's going to end up right now. But right now, Eric Schau's still doing everything he can. He's having to hug that white line for all he's worth because Bud Steele's not going to give him an inch when he's to the outside of him. That's what you're going to have to do here to try to get the win tonight. If you're going to make that outside line work, you just got to try to kill those right side tires of that lead car. And right now, Bud's doing all he can. Eric's hugging that line for all he's worth as well. But yeah, we'll have to keep an eye because it's a David Leclerc. He's hoping he can capitalize on this one. You see Jack Walls, he's right there now in 4th. Jim Brooks 5th. So really, it's anybody's game as we're going to come across to 7 to go.
Man, that was rough for Craig Forsyth. I don't know exactly what happened, but he may have had to pinch it off too much coming off of turn 2, or it was netcode. For some reason, his car just hooked to the left into the grass, and he's all the way at the back now.
Yeah, so I think we've seen a few cars kind of just looks like kind of snap loose on exit. So I wonder if he was just trying to hold so tight that it maybe snapped a little bit on exit. I say can't really go back and look at it on a replay at this point. There's obviously too much going on up front as we get towards the end. Oh, as you see one spin to the inside there, that was the 65 of Gary Corley. Oh, heavy hit for him, but he's on the inside wall here. He's going to have to take a tow, and he's on the inside wall, so it's not going to bring out a caution. So we're going to stay green here as we have 5 to go here at Chicagoland. You see Eric still having to fight off that number 6 of Bud Steele. Bud trying to keep him pinched while all this was going on, though. Here comes the 76 of Jim Brooks. He's moved up into that 3rd position. David Leclerc, he's trying to find a spot as well. You can see, again, I don't think that 3rd line is going to have enough momentum to do anything with it. But again, you want to have that clean air on the nose, so you can see that 76 car trying to find a way around. But right now, though, again, that inside line is going to be where you want to be, and Eric was able to squeeze inside that 6 car to make it happen here.
Yeah, Jim Brooks really did sneak up there, didn't he?
Yeah, so I think he really wasn't showing his hand until late in the race. Got caught up in that earlier incident, but now he's back in it. So that fast repair obviously proving its worth here. Going to come around here, 3 laps to go. Still Eric Schaus leading Bud Steele, leading Jim Brooks. Bud's not quite as tight on the 72 as he was a little earlier. You can see he's able to get to his quarter panel there, or I don't know what you want to call it, side pod, I guess, there. But right now, still, though, they're side by side. Actually, Bud gets a good exit out of 2. Almost side by side at the down the back as we're going to come around here, 2 to go. I
wonder if Jim Brooks could get up there behind Bud Steele and push him by. It just seems like when they really get momentum going on the straightaways that the Jim pulls to the 3rd line, and neither one of them is getting a draft when he does that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how well it'll work, but yeah, you can see those. We're going to come across here, we got one more set of turns, and we're going to get the white flag at the line. So Eric Schaus has 4 more turns to hold off that 6 of Bud Steele, 76 of Jim Brooks. You see the 83 of Jack Walls coming with a big head of steam here to bring at the very end Charles Johnson as well. So everybody's now going full tilt here at the very end. And also have to watch about fuel. Is anybody going to be tight on fuel? As you can see, Bud there pinches them as close as he can. They stay off each other. That's going to open the door, though, off of 4. Eric Schaus going to get the win here. Bud Steele 2nd. Looks like Charles Johnson going to find his way up into 3rd. I believe it looks like Jack Walls will be 4th. Jim Brooks will round out our top 5 here tonight. Saying all comes back to that restart there. That 72 of Eric Schaus was able to find a way to sneak under that number 6 of Bud Steele. I don't think he ever went under that white line there. I think he just made the perfect move, and he was able to capitalize here.
Yeah, definitely.
So great job by Eric here. I'm going to try to go back, see if I can find that restart lap, because I'd love to give you all a better look at it. So let me go hunting here while we'll start getting our drivers ready for their interviews.
I have a stupid IndyCar question for you.
Fire away.
So I'm still learning about these things. Is that push to pass thing only on road courses, or did they have that here?
That is only on the road courses, but the way some of those drivers came up at the end, it kind of looked like they had it here too.
Yeah, they did.
Alright, we're going to look from the chopper view. I think this is going to be the perfect angle. You can see there, Bud just gives up a little bit on the out. You can see it's about a groove off of the bottom. And Eric there goes right up against the white line there. You can see just touching the line. But again, never goes below it. So I think he just made the perfect move and caught Bud a little bit off guard there. And I mean, so that's the winning move there. Just one lap after the restart. Great job again by Eric Schaus to get that going. I'm sure Bud Steele's going to be kicking himself, not protecting it maybe as well as he wanted. But again, though, I mean, Bud then held him honest the rest of the way there through the race. So hats off to him. That was a really exciting finish there at the end, Steve.
Yeah, it definitely was. And I've made that mistake in races before, leaving too much room on the inside and somebody takes advantage of it. And I really have to give a hat tip to Bud Steele, because he could have tried to come down and block and caused a mess there. And he was respectful and left enough room for Eric once he saw that Eric was kind of maybe under him, but he wasn't totally sure.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So we got to pull up some interviewees. So we're going to start with our third place finisher there, Charles Johnson. Definitely had an eventful race, but able to rebound up to third somehow at the end. So grabbing Bud Steele here. So you've been on a roll here, Charles Johnson. You've been on a roll here, Charles. Let's say you've had a couple of wins in a row. Grab another third tonight. Obviously, just didn't get your car in the right place at the right time, but with those couple laps to go, all of a sudden you were there in contention, and just unfortunately that momentum, just nowhere you could take it. It seemed like.
Yeah, I kind of backed off there after that last green flag drop. The two leaders were getting pretty aggressive. I was scared there. I was going to get caught up in a wreck. And then when I seen they were going to make it, I kind of made a run there at the end. Ended up with third place. Overall, good race, though. We got to clean some things up, but had a few extra cars in here than we normally do. But I thought it was pretty good. Good, clean racing.
Yeah, it was an exciting race for sure, and again, saying that's kind of the nature of the beast with these Indy cars. That sometimes with these tracks, depending what the conditions are, obviously tonight you were able to kind of, if you were that lead car protecting the inside line, there was not much that the outside could do to get around you. I said I don't know if we never got quite the long enough run to make those green flag pit stops happen. We were right on the edge a couple of times. I say because I think that would have also shown some tire wear to see what that would have done. But yeah, I mean that was a great run though by all of you there to get there. And I say, I mean you also had you had a couple of recovery runs you had to do yourself there. Had to do a little bit of lawn mowing there at one point that unfortunately we caught a little bit of. So say it wasn't obviously an easy start third, finish third tonight for you in that 28 machine.
Yeah, one time that's the only time tonight that the car broke loose, and it just snapped loose with me, and it turned down into the grass. The rest of the night, the thing felt real stable. I don't know if there is a certain spot there on the track or what, but I mean, it gave no warning whatsoever. Just turned left.
What turn was that coming off of?
I want to say that was
I think it was off of 2.
Yeah, center of 1 and 2.
Because I wonder if that's the same thing that happened to Craig Forsyth near the end.
Yeah, there's a spot there somewhere that's a glitch or something. Because I mean, it gave absolutely no warning. It just turned left.
Yeah, that's what I was watching his, and it looked like the exact same thing. It didn't make any sense.
Yeah, we saw a few cars, Charles, kind of do the same thing, just snap off of 2 down the inside. So I say, don't feel bad. You were by far not the only one, but again, I mean, really good recovery to bring it back up to third. And of course, got to give you opportunity here, though. I say we're not too far away from season 6 as well. So I say I definitely want to give you opportunity for thanks and shouts, and I'm sure if you want to do any recruiting pitches on your end as well for anybody watching here.
Yeah, for sure. We got one more race next week in the Indy Series, and then through the next Sunday for the Super Speedways, and then we're going to do an All-Star Series the next week, and then after that we'll be doing some recruiting races for all 3 series, and should be some fun. You guys come out and look for Area 51, and we'll be posting it on our Facebook page and website. Come join us and do some good hard. If you're looking for some good hard clean racing, this is the place to come for sure. Hey, and I want to give a shout out to my wife tonight. I don't know if she's watching or not, but and also appreciate all the drivers, everyone coming out and watching us race every week, and appreciate everything you guys do up there in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, it was fun to watch you guys again. I say, like you said, it's awesome when Lynn's able to catch some of these races. Well, I didn't see her in the chat tonight, but I say hopefully she's able to watch. But like you said, if not though, hope she's doing well. I say I was saying, and say you should be back home again soon too, right?
Yeah, I'm actually flying out day after tomorrow, so I'll be back at the house.
All right. Well, I'll say good luck putting up with Charles again, Lynn, once he gets back. Once he gets back from that flight.
Yep.
Good run though, Charles. Congrats again. Look forward to chatting here with you again here soon.
Yeah, good job, Charles.
Yep, appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
All right, so that's another thing to mention, though, Steve. So Charles has been on the road doing work, doing a lot of work, and so he's actually kind of doing his backup wheel and stuff that he's been racing with. So I say he's been mentioning, I say once he gets back on his main rig, I say so the field's gonna have to watch out because he'll be back in his comfort zone. So he's been doing a great job in that number 28 car, just kind of running with a backup setup, if you will.
And I didn't realize that. I mean, that's a quite an additional challenge for people that are not that experienced with sim racing. I mean, we have when you're at home, you have things set up a certain way with the wheel you like best. A lot of these people have cockpits, so they've got very comfortable setups. And you're on the road, staying in a hotel or in somebody's house or whatever with a backup wheel and probably sitting at a desk in an office chair, which is how I race all the time. That's not an easy thing to adapt to. So for him to run as well as he did, that's impressive.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So he's been on a roll too. I mean, he's had a couple wins in a row. So yeah, he's been doing great in that number 28 machine. So now we got to grab our second place finisher, Bud Steele here, and say it's kind of a similar deal for Bud. To say started in the fourth position, finished second, but say it definitely wasn't one of those races where you're just up front leading the way and controlling the race there, Bud. You were having to fight there, and so obviously I don't want to dwell on anything like that, but I'm guessing you kind of feel like that this is one that maybe got away after that last restart.
I was talking to Eric just a little while ago, and yeah, I didn't think I had left the whole lane down there. I was trying to just split the seam, between first two lanes there, and I evidently left just a little bit too much.
Yeah, so it was like you said. I mean, it was tight, but it was just enough for that number 72 to squeeze in there. And saying, I mean, say if you were in that position, you'd be trying to fill that gap too. Just again, as tough as it was to be able to pass here. That being said, though, I mean, you did an awesome job. I mean, again, there were still about, I think it was like 15 or so laps after that restart. I mean, you made that 72 earn it because you were running him tight through the turns and kind of keeping him pinched down to hopefully, I'm guessing, try to hope he might burn those right fronts up a little bit or just force him into a mistake. So that was really clean but aggressive racing that you're putting on with him in the 72. It was really exciting to watch there from our point of view.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I've run with Eric like that before, so we trust each other, and I was just hoping he'd maybe get scared and lift one time, So, but no, he's pretty tough.
Yeah, no, he's a tough one to compete with. I'd say obviously also fighting for that championship title, so he had a lot that he was. I say it's one of those risk versus rewards too, where it's like hey, I'm not really in the title hunt here, so is it really worth for you to fight me that hard? But like I said, I mean that was again a great race tonight between the two of you. A really good battle there at the end. And good pit strategy too. There's a few times we were a little worried that you were gonna have to pit there under green or something like that, but then the caution fall at just the right time. And then you're able to kind of control the pace there. Even on the older tires, it seemed like you were able to do exactly what you needed to do, keep your car in that position to kind of just keep protecting that bottom there.
Oh yeah, that out on next to last caution. Well, I think we ended up with like 35 to go. Well, I think we were down to 34 to go when the green came back out, and luckily I figured I was just going to ride behind Jack and save because I knew he was going to have to pit in maybe another 10 laps. So I was just going to stay behind him, save fuel so I could make it to the end. But then another caution came out, and we were pretty good from there.
Yeah, so it was a great run tonight, but I'd say awesome to see you back on track as well, grabbing the second place finish tonight. So yes, I definitely want to give you the floor though. Any thanks and shout outs you'd like to give for that result tonight?
Well, as always, thank you, Gael, Green White Checker, Don there, and all the guys at Area 51. And hope everybody enjoyed it.
All right, congrats again, bud. Look forward to seeing you race on track here some more. But yeah, great run again tonight, and look forward to chatting with you soon.
Yeah, good finish, bud. And I can tell you that we certainly enjoyed watching it.
Hey, thanks, Don. Yeah, I saw you running around out there for a while.
Oh, actually, I say we're.
This is Steve.
I say on Tuesday nights we've got Steve, and then Don I've got on Thursday nights. So yeah, yeah, Don couldn't resist from racing with you guys either, so he had to take care of something. It looks like to jump out, but yeah, so I've got Steve here in the booth. But so I have to be careful though. I think I'm going to lose him to some of your league races though if I'm not too careful.
Oh, we'll kick him out for you.
Sounds good. Congrats again, bud. Though, look forward to chatting with you soon.
You too, Gael.
Yeah, thanks, bud. You know, I'm thinking, Gael, when they have those recruitment races, we should get out there and mix it up and have some fun with them.
Oh, definitely. I was saying they do them. They're saying it's all gonna be kind of showing what's going on with season 6. So obviously, right now we've got Tuesday through Thursday our broadcast races, and then also Sundays. But on Friday nights they do have kind of. It's basically like a recruiting series that they run some different cars and tracks at. I've done a couple of them, and it's a lot of fun. So, I mean, definitely you guys can, yourself, Steven, of course, anybody watching, you can find that info from their website, area51iracing.com. Definitely check it out, and then they're going to have some fun runs coming up as we're about to finish up season number 5 and leading into 6. So, yeah, definitely going to be some options opening around here. That being said, though, Steve, we can't make Rachel wait too long. I think she wants to hear from our race winner, that number 72 of Eric Schaus. We're going to pull up as he's doing some donuts. So let's grab our race winner here, Eric Schaus. So did you kind of see the C's part there as you saw Bud kind of sneak off the bottom just a little bit there off of 4?
I couldn't believe it. He gave me a car length and an inch, and I took every bit of that. I don't know, when you give me the space there, I have to go for it. I'm racing for the points. I need the win. It was a little bit of a risk, but hey, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it was a really good move. So we went back and looked at it too. I mean, you were just basically those left tires are just touching that white line. I mean, you were as low as you could go without going below it. Because again, also with these cars, I mean, you go below that white line and that thing's going to snap loose on you, as we saw happen to a few drivers here tonight. Just the way these cars are kind of the way they're. Just the way their chassis is so stiff and everything. So, like you said, I mean, risk versus reward, and like you mentioned that points battle. I mean, there was points where you and Jack and Craig. I mean, you guys were fighting hard, and there's a couple points where Steve and I mean, we kind of had our felt like our stomachs in our throats there for a minute or two because it looked like you guys were all going to end in tears, but somehow you guys kept it off each other. I say it definitely wasn't for lack of effort. You guys were all fighting extremely hard there.
Yeah, there was
Go right ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, there was one time where I think you touched wheels with someone. You were, I think, racing for third spot at the time, and you actually went up to the outside and lost a couple spots. And I was like, God, I hope those guys aren't damaged because this racing is so fun to watch.
Yeah, there was so many ups and downs during that race, especially with Jack on a different pit strategy, staying out to get his lead laps. I'm assuming that's why he did it. Great on him. But yeah, the racing was way more intense this time around than the last couple races we have had. And yeah, that contact that I had kind of pushed me up in the wall. That was with Bud kind of earlier on. I got to go back and watch the replay. I don't know if I came down or if he washed up or what happened. Maybe it was just net code. But that threw me up into the wall a little bit. I had a 0x from that, so no damage. But then as I was coming back down, Craig actually came and caught my rear wheel. And that gave me a 4x, but still no damage. I think that ended up hurting Craig a little bit, probably some wing damage or something. But yeah, I was surprised to get out of that pretty much unscathed, other than a few spots lost. But in the end, that didn't make too much of a difference.
I remember you came right back up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty decent at saving these cars. When they do get a little twitchy or a little loose or contact, that kind of thing, I'm pretty quick with the wheel, so I can usually recover fairly quickly. I did there, but I came down a little bit too quickly. I should have stayed up on the line a little bit longer. It would have been a little bit safer for everybody else in the field. Maybe Craig and I wouldn't have had contact, but shoulda, coulda, woulda.
So did you guys ever get a long enough run where the car started to push? And what was it like for you trying to pass people on the outside?
I actually struggled a little bit early on when I did end up out of the lead and kind of fell back to 5th or 6th, I think based on the pit strategy. I struggled a little bit at first because I had almost no experience getting through traffic, so I had to kind of learn as I went. Usually you could get kind of a slingshot move either under or over people. The real trouble came when you were up front in the lead. There was just really no way around the guy underneath, especially if you're on the same tire. As the tires wore down, probably around lap 20-ish or 15 to 20, the inside line started pushing up a little bit, and you had to start taking. If you're on the outside, you had to go to the wall and then kind of sweep through the turn. So it a little bit different for depending on where you were on the track, but the tires definitely started to play a little bit of a factor into it.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun watching guys battle there at the end. Saying we were talking to Bud too that last run after you got to his inside. I mean, after that, I mean, it wasn't smooth sailing for you. You had to pretty much hug that white line for all you're worth because he wasn't giving you more than about, like you said, maybe like a couple inches or so. It seemed like of wiggle room because again, I mean, that's if you're gonna make it happen, you got to really pinch that guy. So, I mean, I'm guessing if I'm in your position, my hand grip is pretty tense on there. Were you kind of death gripping it there at that last lap?
Pretty close to it, yeah. I mean, that was 100% focus. At that point, I didn't even know how much fuel I had left, what lap we were on. It was just hold that white line for all I'm worth. I cannot slide up at all because I saw Bud wasn't even giving me a groove worth of width there, so he was coming down kind of into my groove, which is fine. Fair racing. That's his prerogative to push me that hard. So I just knew that I had to pretty much keep my tires on the white line, otherwise he and I might wash up into each other. And especially with the tires getting a little bit older, I was getting a little concerned, but they held, and Bud gave me enough space, and it worked out.
It was intense. I mean, that was some great racing to watch.
I'm glad you guys enjoyed it. That was, like I said, a lot of ups and downs. Midway through that race, I was not expecting a win. Cards just kind of fell in my favor with the pit strategies and the couple of cautions that let me have enough fuel to get to the end.
I mean, that's what it takes sometimes. I say, obviously, you have to be in the right place at the right time. Obviously, some luck, and of course, say some skill and the right strategies involved and everything like that. So you're able to kind of combine them all tonight. It's obviously going to be helping in the points going into Homestead next week. But say before we get there, though, of course, got to give you the opportunity. Any thanks and shouts I'd like to give for getting that win tonight.
Yeah, thanks to everybody this time around. Thanks to Area 51 for putting on a great race and the guys that I raced against. Thanks to you guys at Green White Checkered for commentating. Thanks to my wife for supporting me in the other room. And then I had I believe my brother-in-law was watching, and I know my father-in-law was with me in Discord, and he was actually running some fuel numbers for me because I got into this race and started it, and I realized my crew chief wasn't working. So I had no fuel readouts. I had no idea how much fuel I needed to get to the end, anything like that. So it was fortunate he was in the Discord with me, and I was able to read out some numbers to him, and he gave me the right math to get to the end. So I appreciate that a lot.
No, that's awesome. I love it. So we've talked about that in some previous races with Chad Wilkes and Mitchell Wilkes. They've been working together, so that's awesome. So we kind of talk about, of course, like the family affair with the father-son there. So now you've got your father-in-law helping out. So it's just so much fun. So I love seeing that. So
yeah, I told him I stream on Discord for him so he can watch my in-car view, and I told him if he's going to be watching my stream, I got to put him to work at least. So I appreciate it.
All's fair. That's awesome. Yeah, so congrats again on that win, Eric. Say hard-fought win for sure. So definitely enjoy it. Say like you said, Rachel definitely was cheering you on all the way through. Say through the nerves and then through the celebration. So good job again tonight, and I look forward to catching you at Homestead and battling for that title.
Yep, congrats on the win, Eric.
Yeah, thank you guys. I look forward to hopefully talking with you next week too.
All right, so before we go any further, we got to go through our final results tonight, Steve.
Okay.
All right, so as we mentioned, of course, our top three, Eric Schaus, Bud Steele, Charles Johnson, and then just outside that group there, you see Jack Walls, Jim Brooks, 4th and 5th, And David Leclerc in 6th, Charles Teed 7th, Benjamin Combs in 8th, and front at the top 10 you got Brendan Pasalacqua and Nicholas Winook. And then 11th through 20th here, you've got David Patton, John Brill, James Ledford, Craig Forsyth, unfortunately, with that little slide through off of 2 down the inside. Wasn't able to recover. Chris Gerbeau just needed that one more caution to be able to try to get back in the mix. He winds up in 15th. Michael Spell 16th, Todd Merkel 17th. Then you got Corey Lane, Gary Corley, and Christopher Kresge. And the remainder of the field here, you see Don Runkle Jr. He had to jump out for something going on, I think, either computer-related or something with pets, or I don't know. I saw something message us say more insider info, but say he had a good run. To say just had to jump out a little early, and unfortunately Art Peck, Jason Bridges not having the nights they were looking for either. All right, Steve. So this is the second to last race of season number 5. So you just got Homestead left to go. So that one with the multi-groove, kind of the banking, that could definitely throw things into maybe switch things up a little bit, shake things up with the way the cars run. But before we get there, of course, though, any final thoughts for tonight's race?
It was very intense, very fun to watch. I think that overall these guys did a tremendous job tonight in how cleanly they raced each other, and how close they were able to race without messing up, especially the battle between Eric and Bud at the end.
Yeah, it was an exciting one. Again, crazy to think that we're only we're on the second. This is the second last race. So next week we've got Homestead for the finale. Probably at this point going to be between Eric Schaus and then the 83 of Jack Walls for the title. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Tomorrow night we got the 87 Cup Series. And then Thursday night we've got the Cup Series, and of course Sunday night we've got the Super Speedway Cup Series, and same thing for those, second to last race for all of those series. And then next week we will start our season finale for season number 5. Obviously going to have some off-season fun races in between, and then we'll get right back into season 6. So again, I want to thank you all for joining us here at Green White Checker TV. For myself, Kyle Brooks, and of course Steve Goschak. Again, really appreciate you joining me in the booth. Always a pleasure having you. So that being said, though, until tomorrow night, if you can, of course, please try to stay home, stay safe, and have a good night.
Night, everyone.